Hey, this is Ashley with Just a Second, a podcast for Putnam County. Hey everyone, it's Ashley and welcome to Just a Second. I'm here with my friend Rich, the Realtor.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Rich is with Meeks Realty Group, and I'm just thrilled to have you here. You've had such a windy path. When I met you, you were a chef.
I was.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm still
a chef.
Yes,
you were
but
still
specific to one person now.
Specific to Sarah.
Yes, right. Yes, that's correct.
Right. Yeah. I see the meals that you make her every day. It's very nice.
Yeah. Saturday date nights for us.
Or is it Saturday date night?
Saturday date nights. Yeah.
Yeah,
We've been doing that for 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's cool. So I'm excited to have Rich here today. We're going to talk a little bit about you, talk a little about real estate, talk about the Meeks Realty Group. We can talk about Sarah, whatever you want.
That sounds good.
I don't think Sarah would like it very much.
Probably not.
She's a little shy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but she's great. We can also talk about, how vital of a role that I play.
Without you, Sarah and I wouldn't have met. So as a reminder, we invited you to our wedding reception.
I was out of town.
I know you were, but yeah, you were a huge piece of our story.
Yeah, I actually wanted to officiate your wedding.
Yeah, we thought about that. But yeah, well, we had other plans.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not a legal officiant anyway. So
well, you could have been though for that.
I think you
occasion.
Can get it online pretty quickly.
That's fine.
All right, Rich, let's talk a little bit about you. What led you here to Putnam County?
Well, I'm born and raised here.
Yeah.
So moved here when I was under 5 years old or something, and I went to school at Scott Tays and then into the Winfield school system, and just born and raised. I left for a while I was married previously and moved away, and they say all West Virginians come home, so that happened for me in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So I love it here, and I saw an article this morning on the Winfield City Facebook where the school systems were rated, and Winfield's in the top 5 or something.
Yeah.
It's a proud thing for a lot of us former generals.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, we're always so proud of our Putnam County school systems. They always rate very highly, and one of the reasons that your profession is so busy is because people want to move here.
It's a big attraction
because of our school system.
Yeah.
What led you into real estate?
Well, when I got home in 2018, it was very quickly known for me. I was running into all of my sphere of influence, like just people from college and from high school and from church and those kind of things. And I had always had an eye on real estate, but it didn't seem to fit in my story when I was not living here. But when I lived here, it just seemed to be an obvious option. So I thought, I'll do it part-time while I was a chef and do it part-time and see if I can make any money. And that was prior to COVID. And then when COVID happened, everything exploded, and it was easy to, I shouldn't say easy, but lots of even newer realtors were making money during COVID. So I was able to just, blessed to just go full-time, and I've been doing that since 2019. So love it.
Cool. And you're with the Meeks Realty Group. Tell us a little bit about the Meeks Realty Group and why you love being a representative of them.
Yeah, so Meeks Realty Group is a house under the umbrella of Meeks Property Management. Of course, that's Thor, and he needed a full-time realtor as he opened up a realty group, which was kind of not demanded, I shouldn't say, but required for when he started managing property for other owners. West Virginia Real Estate Commission, those folks needed representation, which doesn't really require. He could have done it another way, but he wanted to open a realty group and needed a full-time realtor. Thor and James and I have a history and a past of some business together, and so we had a common trust in each other, and he recruited me over, and so I kind of represent the group, but I'm really the only full-time realtor there. But it's been a really good 2.5 years now there. So it's been exciting. I love the office and the people there. They're all real good to me, and we all get along well.
And you do residential and commercial?
And commercial, yeah, that's correct.
And represent buyers and sellers, both?
Buyers and sellers, yeah. I don't do anything in the property management side, and that's one of the things that happens is I'll get calls or texts, and do you have anything everything, renting and whatever. And of course, I just forward them right on to the people that can help them.
Yeah.
You know, we have an excellent property manager, you know, a fairly new leasing agent who's there, and all those folks can help guide them to their to where they want to go. So yeah,
that's cool. What are you seeing in real estate right now?
Real estate has been an interesting ride, and you know, I tell the story to most people, particularly if I'm on the air with Dave Allen or something.
Sure.
But you know, prior to COVID, our MLS, which multiple listing service, we would for Canal Valley Board of Realtors, which houses it houses 11 counties, so it's a fairly large area. We used to keep between 1,700 active listings most of the time. That was just the way it was. And, you know, a couple hundred of them were, you know, would have been sub 100,000, even maybe even sub $70,000 houses that, you know, are always going to be out there. And then probably another 150 or so were above $1 million or, you know, above 750.
Yeah.
Since when COVID happened, I mean, it just dropped. And that was kind of the interesting thing to watch, as you would log on and see how many are available. And it was just going down and down. And, you know, the rates were dropping and buyers were in the market. And it went as low as into the 450 area active listings, which still included probably less than 100, but probably 100 of the 450 were still the lower end, you know, $50,000, $60,000 homes, and still another 100 were on the top end. So the amount of, and that's again over 11 counties. It's gone, you know, when rates started going back up in 2022, I guess it got up to close to 600, but it's been hovering right at 500 for most of that time, which includes today. We're maybe 530 or something like that.
I know for 2024 in Putnam County, our average day on market was like 6. Because
so there just aren't enough.
Yeah.
There just aren't enough, and we need more building, and I think we have the land for it, but you know, there aren't as many builders. You know, cost of building and all that stuff as a factor. So
absolutely.
I did bring a statistic that I think that everyone you would want to know. And this is Putnam County. So a couple of days ago, I was doing some research and kind of went back to from 2022 to 2023, and it's not the year, but it's the May to May.
Sure.
Okay, so May to May, 2022 to 2023, average price sold for a home in Putnam County was $271,958, which was, you know, even that's a higher number than it was when I started. And that was at $124.24 per square foot. Realtors, appraisers, we all look at per square foot a lot. It's not the only variable, but it is something we look at. The following year, 2023 to 2024, average price per home went up $11,000. So it was $282,954 at an average per square foot of $129. So it was up $5 a square foot. This last year, trailing from May to May, Putnam County's average sold is $305,120. At an average square foot, and this is the kicker, is $143 a square foot sold homes. So a lot of that speaks to demand. You know, we don't have the inventory, so the buyers are still, you know, even though rates went higher, buyers are still, life happens. You know, you're gonna, you know, buy a bigger house, buy a smaller house, that kind of thing. You know, but
we definitely have. We have a real need, and I think we have a real need for folks that actually want to downsize so that they can open up some of these bigger homes for our growing families that want to.
Herein lies the problem, and this is a big part of our issue. At some point, 70% of all folks, they refied. When the rates dropped to 3, everyone was refinancing. So now you're talking about asking one of those people to move to a 7% rate where they're currently in a 3. And by the way, we're going to buy a smaller home. So it's hard to talk them into. It's hard to talk them into.
Or people that, I mean, even just, you know, I can't, even just people that have lived in their homes and their homes are paid off. They can't, there isn't a place for them to go.
That's right.
Without, you know.
They've got tons of equity. They can make some money, but then where do they go?
Where do they go? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the tough thing. Well, I think in the near future, we're going to see some more houses coming online, which will be exciting, and I think will be great for the growth that we're seeing in the area. And I know that we've got some really great realtors here in Putnam County, and
We do.
and I know that if people are looking for qualified ones or ones that are good to work with, make sure to give us a call. We'll
Yeah, you guys are always great with referrals, and there is there's a slew of us who are heavily involved in the chamber. The chamber's been such a good connection for me. I'm a huge, as you know, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
but yeah, lots of good realtors in our area, and although we're not all the same,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of good ones here. So.
Yeah, and I think there's a space for everybody, because you may specialize in one thing where somebody else really specializes in
Sure.
different other things, or people are represent a wide variety of properties, and so I think we're really fortunate to have the
We are.
realtors and that we do here in Putnam County, for sure. So
Yeah.
let's see what else. I was going to say Steve, but I won't. We won't.
I wondered if you were going to bring that
I wasn't
up,
going
so,
to, but I
yeah.
can't help myself.
It's
Rich and I
part
have
of
an
our
inside
story.
joke, and for a brief moment, I kept telling people his name was Steve. I'm actually very good with names. Like, that is one of if I had to list a resume of skills, like knowing and remembering
names.
people's names, and I have a trick in which I do that, and I'm able to do it. But for some reason, you were Steve to me for a minute.
That makes me unique.
Yeah.
And it makes me stand out
It
in
does.
your eyes.
It
So
does.
that's part
It
of our
does.
story.
Yeah,
And
it brings a smile to my face every time I see it, because I think, oh gosh, he should hate me. I called him the wrong name for a whole week. But this is Rich the Realtor.
That's Rich the Realtor. That's
This is
right.
Rich the Realtor, and that's how we refer to him now. And we're thrilled to have you here with us today. And if you guys are looking for a realtor, give him a call.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
All right.
Great to be here.
See you next time.